So again, I'm going to be gone on Thursday. So if you have me, you're going to do like a worksheet. If you don't have me, then you're doing whiteboard practice. Okay? But I will have the answers posted, and then when you are done with the worksheet, you turn it into my sub, and then my sub will take it, and you'll be good to go. So nothing too crazy there, but just again throwing it out there. Now, today we're going to look at something called the discriminant. Okay? And so what it does is it tells you when you're solving a quadratic, what should you expect as an answer? Okay? So right now it actually tells you, should I even try to solve this problem? If it doesn't, if you shouldn't solve it, then you just wouldn't. You would be done. The other thing it tells you is how many times a quadratic crosses the x-axis. So if I look at this graph right here, I know something about the discriminant right off the bat, just from the picture. Okay? But what we're going to do is we're actually going to do a little bit of review. We're going to review your favorite formula, which is the quadratic formula. And the reason we're going to do that is because it always works for quadratics. Okay? It always works. So if you're taking a test and you're stuck on how to solve a quadratic, that's what you go to. Okay? It's not necessarily the nicest thing, but it always works. So it's an option. So let's review really quick. So quadratics, their coefficients go A, B, C, right? So what is A for this quadratic? -2. What is B? And C? 5. Awesome. Now when you do the quadratic, you've already been taught how to do it. However, I want you to all do it in the same way. And I have my reasons. I won't get too much into them, but realize that they will help you and not hurt you. And so I am going to start off by just dropping things in. Normally I write the quadratic first, but since you already have it on your paper, I'm not going to. So I'm going to write -6 plus or minus the square root of, what's 6 squared? 36, are we good with that? Are we good if I write 36 instead of 6 squared? All right. The last class was not good with that, so we actually wrote in and added more work. So I got 36 minus 4 times, what's A? -2. I put that in parentheses anytime I have a negative. It just makes our calculator work a little nicer. And then I got C, which is 5. And all of that is divided by 2A. So I go 2 times -2. So step 1, dump everything. Step 2, I actually only calculate what's under the square root and simplify the bottom. So I'm going to have -6 plus or minus the square root. Notice I didn't put anything in there. And then down here, I'm going to have -4. So let's all practice calculating the discriminant. So you need a calculator. Come on up and grab one if you need one. All right, so you type in only, do not type in the square root, just type in 36 minus 4 times -2 times 5. If you get a syntax error, it's because you used 2 negatives or you used 2 minus signs. It's a minus and then it's a negative. Different buttons on your calculator. And when you type that in, you get 76 is correct. Let's go back. Since we had so many different numbers, this is how I would type it in. 36 minus 4, and then I actually would just put parentheses in, because it multiplies it for you. So I'd put parentheses -2, and I'd put parentheses 5. And then I'd hit enter, and it does give you 76. So that's what I got right here. That changes things. Yep. All right, now, can I take the square root of a positive number? Yes, I can. Okay, and we will. And we're going to do more of this as we continue on. Slide on over. All right. So I actually break this into two things at this point. So I go x equals, and folks, when you type this in your calculator, I type the whole thing in. But if you type the whole thing in, you have to be careful about it. So instead, the easier option is this. You take -6 plus the square root of 76. No, you shouldn't. Just type this in and hit enter. What do you get? 2.72? Yep. Okay, so you don't clear that number. You don't do anything. You now just hit divide -4. And so it says answer divided by -4. And then it gives you x is equal to what?
-0.67.
9. -6 or -0.68. But yes, it's 679. All right. We do the same thing. So I want you to type this in, hit enter, and then divide that by -4. And you get, what are you getting? Type it in. Get a calculator. Got one. Good. Don't be lazy.
3.67.
Ooh, we got disagreement. You got what? 3.679. What'd you get?
3.67.
Okay, we got the same thing. So 3.68. Does that look approximately right based off where these points are? That looks about -0.7. Yeah, that's about right. And then this would be approximately 7. So yeah, that looks right. Now, this is not actually what we're doing today. We're only doing one piece of it. And that one piece is actually what we did at the very beginning, which is that calculation. Now, we did the quadratic because we have to get used to doing a quadratic. You have to know that it's an option, okay? But all we're focused on today is this piece under the square root, which is called the discriminant. So now, we're going to start diving into that. So I'm going to look at this next page. You actually calculated the discriminant when I asked you to just do that 36 minus all that stuff. It was 76. Make sure you're writing that down. This is the most important part of today. So that was 76. How many times did we cross? How many solutions did we have?
2.
We had 2. So I'm going to put the number of zeros is 2. That's just the number of solutions. Now when we look at this next one, we have to do some calculation. So number 2, I have A, B, C. So let's talk about this briefly. B is what number over there? -4. So I would write -4, I would square it, and I'd go -4 times 1 times 5. I'm not typing that in my calculator. Okay? What's -4 squared?
16.
What's +4 squared?
16.
So I know that it should be +16 no matter what. So I'm not even going to deal with the negative. I'm going to, instead in my calculator, I'll type in 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5. I have no negatives in there, so I won't put parentheses. I'll just actually multiply them across. You can choose to do it how you would like. If you would like to use parentheses, that's fine. What number do we get?
-4.
-4. Should get -4, so that's good. So we got -4. How many times does this graph cross the x-axis? 0. It does not. Okay. I'm writing 0. I actually want you to have 0. I don't want you to have none. Okay. So we got 0. What we're doing right now, you might be a little confused what we're doing. We're actually just putting a bunch of data on the board, and then we're going to look for a pattern, okay? And you're going to discover it on your own. So 3, we're going to do the same thing, discriminant. So b squared goes a, b, c. I have 12 squared minus 4 times 2 times 18. Multiply it out, give me a number. Zero? Yeah, 0. And if we look at this graph, how many times does it touch the x-axis? Once. Its vertex is on the x-axis. Okay, so it's got 1 point that is on the x-axis. 4. You're going to tell me what to write down this time. So discriminant, I'm going to put what numbers down? 8 squared. Okay, I got minus 4. Now I need something else. Times negative 1. Nice. Type it in. See what you get. Zero. Yeah.
So this number is zeros?
Yep.
That just means how many times we touch that.
Yes. So I'm going to repeat that. So the number of zeros is just how many times our quadratic touches the x-axis. So it's either 2, 1, or 0. Okay? So what do we get here? 0 is good. How many times does it touch? Once. All right. We got 2 more to go.
If it's 1, if it just touches the vertex once, it's already 0.
Yep.
So would I not have to work then?
Ooh. We're going to get to that in just a moment. Okay? We're going to get to that in just a moment. Okay, discriminant for 5 and 6. I want you to calculate them. You can just get going right now. I'll write stuff on the board if you're stuck, but otherwise you just get going. One's positive, one's negative. Yeah, watch yourself. There you go. Oh, you will. You might not right now, but you will. You did. It's true. Not bad. What did you do?
26
Like,
negative.
76 is what I got.
just shoot as far as you can. Okay.
Hold on.
All right. What do we get for number 5? 26? We like 26? Okay, I saw 26 as I was walking around. Not everywhere, but most places. The biggest thing that I saw is we just forgot to deal with those parentheses or the negative. So you can always type it in as just +4. How many times do I cross the x-axis? Twice. And then if I look at this one, what did I get for this? -23. And how many times do I cross the x-axis? 0. Yeah. So let's look at this really quick. And it actually makes our next lesson super, super easy. So if I look at this, I have 0. I cross it 0 times when I have a negative number. Up here, I have a positive number. I crossed it twice. Over here, I had 0, and I have 1 solution. Okay? I have 0 again. I have 1 solution. And coming back here, 0, 1. Oh, never mind. Did that already. Over here, negative number, 0 solutions. Positive number, 2 solutions. What I want you to realize is we are doing the part of the quadratic that is under the square root. That's the b squared minus 4ac. So think about that. If I have a negative number in here, what happens? Can I take the square root of a negative? Oh, just wait. Tomorrow you can. But today you can't. All right? Your calculator never can. All right? It gives you a domain error. It doesn't know what to do. So that's why you have 0 real solutions. Okay? Now, if I put 0 in here, what's the square root of 0? 0. So if I have 10 plus or minus 0, it doesn't change anything, right? It's just 10 divided by 2. And then if we have a positive, that's when we get 2 solutions because it does 2 different things, okay? So lots of connections there. But the biggest connection that you need to know is on that page right there, which is this bottom piece. And the thing is, and this chart is helpful for the next portion of the lesson, is what is the relationship we notice between the value of the discriminant and the number of zeros? If I have 0 zeros, what is my discriminant? It's a negative number. I don't know what it is, but I know it's a negative number. So I'm going to write that out. I can also say that D would be less than 0 if D is representing my discriminant. Okay. Now, if I have 1 0, what is my discriminant? It's 0. So that means D equals 0. Again, if D is representing the discriminant. So that's what we got. We don't have to do any work. We actually know what it is already. So that was a question that was asked. And yeah, you don't have to do any work. If you see that the vertex is on the x-intercept, you know that your discriminant is 0. And then lastly, 2 zeros just means that we have a positive number. Or that D is greater than 0. Questions? All right, lesson 3.6. Next page. Flip on over to it. This one, we are going to be done in 7 minutes. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I got a doubter over here. We're going to start a clock, all right? We're going to start a stopwatch. You asked every single question about this class. Mathematics. Okay, I'm not your counselor. But you ask anything about this, and I will help it work out. And we're going to be done in 7 minutes. And I'm already talking. And look at that. Time is just drifting away. And these two are doing something else. All right, anyways, let's draw a brief sketch of this situation. So we're told that the vertex is -2, -5. So is that up, down, left, right? What is it? Down and left. So somewhere like right there. This is how nice my sketch is going to be for most of these. Some of them I'll get a little more detailed, but not by much. Then it says a is greater than 0. What does a tell you about a quadratic? It's positive, and it tells you up. It tells you the concavity. So if this is my vertex, and a is positive, it looks like this, or it looks like that, or it looks like this. It doesn't matter how we sketch it. How many times do I cross the x-axis? Twice. So the number of zeros is 2. So what can you tell me about your discriminant? Positive. Positive, that's it. That's it. That's all you got to write. Any questions? Any wondering? Should we dive into this problem more, or are we good? Oh, minute and a half. We're doing all right, though. All right, next one. Okay, sketch the problem. So, 3, 2. Up, down, left, right. Where am I going? Up and... Okay, so I got a dot right here. Now this is at 3, 2. It tells me, that's my vertex, and it also tells me I have a y-intercept of 5. So I have a dot somewhere up there, okay, because the height would be higher up. Now, if I have a dot right there, I also know that I have another dot, which would be across this and somewhere over here, correct? Because of symmetry. So because of that, this is what my quadratic looks like. Does it go lower than this point? No, because it's a vertex. So yeah, we have 0, zeros. Zeros is another name for x-intercepts. Okay, so we have 0, 0. So our discriminant is negative. Negative. Questions? Ooh, we're at 249. All right, moving on. 3 tells me a vertex again. Tells me a point. My vertex is at 2, 0. Up, down, left, right. Right. Whoa, 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 whoa. You better know the answer to this one. It's 1. What's the discriminant? Boom. I don't even care about that point. Because if my vertex is on the x-intercept, I don't care if it opens up or if it opens down. I'm only crossing one time. Oh, that was a time saver. We're at 3:25. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. What questions do we have? That's what I thought. The same as the discriminant. All right. This one, I'm going to be a little bit more detailed in my graph. So I have negative 2, 3. So I'm going to go 2 to the left. I'll have 2 tick marks. I have 4 tick marks. It looks like to the right, that's as far as I have to go. And then I go all the way up to 6. So I got 6 going up. And then I plot my point. So negative 2, 3. I have 4, 3. And I have 3, 6. Now, what is similar about those 2 points? Same y, they're symmetric, there's symmetry that's cutting down between them. Okay? So then this other point tells me a lot because that other point should be somewhere over here. So my parabola looks like this. So how many times do I cross? Twice, so the number of zeros is 2. And my discriminant is positive. So I could also write this as is greater than 0. Oh, I wrote less than 0. I don't know, we're at 5 minutes. We got 1 left. Do we got any questions? All right, last one. Sketch again. I got 2, 6, and 4, so I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no. Too bad. All right, then we go all the way up to 3. And so I got 2, 3. I have 6, 3. and I have 4, 1. Same height. Again, what's halfway between 2 and 6? 4. So 4 has to be what? Vertex. Has to be the vertex. Can I go lower than my vertex?
No.
So how many solutions do I have? Discriminant is negative. Yep, so it's a negative number. All different ways of writing the same thing. And 6 minutes and 8 seconds. 7 minutes. All right. That's enough. So you could honestly start with 3-6 for your homework and be done before you walk out that door. Okay?